Ji, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today I'm going to explain a sub-lecture on sulfonamides. They actually are antimetabolites. Sulfonamides, antimetabolites is actually a class of antibacterial agents. In my previous lecture, I've explained what the antibacterial agents are. Let me give you a brief recap about that. I've told you that the bacteria carries capsule, then there is a presence of a cell wall, then we have a cell membrane in its structure. Ribosomes are present in bacterial cell for the synthesis of the proteins. Nucleic acids are there without cell membranes. Okay, so antibacterial agents are those agents which kill bacteria. Different antibacterial agents have their different mode of action. There are certain compounds, drugs, which inhibit the transcription and translation of nucleic acids in bacterial cell. So one of the examples is proflavins. Similarly, certain other antibacterial agents, they inhibit the protein synthesis in bacterial cells. The example of the drug class is the tetracyclines. They do interact with the ribosomes, and those ribosomes are actually responsible for the synthesis of proteins. So once tetracyclines do interact with the ribosomes won't be able to produce the protein molecules, proteins actually for the bacteria. Thirdly, bacterial cells require a number of important vitamins and biomolecules for their smooth functioning of the cells. Certain drugs like sulfonamides, which I'm going to explain now, they have the ability to interact with certain enzymes. They do act as competitive enzyme inhibitors, okay, and they block the synthesis of certain biomolecules, vitamins, and that's why they are called antimetabolites. Similarly, certain antibacterial agents inhibit the cell wall synthesis. The penicillin is one of the examples of the drug class that acts against the cell wall synthesis. Similarly, there is polymyxins, the class of the drug antibacterial agents which reduce the stability of the cell membrane. I've explained in my previous lecture how these antibacterial agents actually do target the bacteria, how they actually operate against bacteria, and they don't affect human cells, mammalian cells. In relation to this, I'm going to explain the antimetabolites, and in that antimetabolites I'm going to sulfonamides, that how they do act as antibacterial agents. I've told you that they act as antimetabolites. They actually inhibit the preparation of certain molecules in bacteria. Okay, how they do act as antimetabolites, how they do act as antibacterial agent, how actually they inhibit the synthesis of certain vital compounds. That is what I'm going to explain. Let me give you a brief background. This is a sort of an azo dye. It's an azo dye. Called Prontosil. In mid 1930s, azo dye was used in some lab experiments. In some lab experiments, this dye was used called Prontosil, This was used in some lab animals. What happens afterwards? It was found that this dye, basically it's an azo dye, it acted as an antibacterial agent, in vivo. In vivo tests, in lab animals. This dye acted as an antibacterial agent. It acted as an antibacterial agent, Then what they did, they used it for antibacterial tests in the lab. In vitro tests, in vitro analysis experiments, this dye was not acting as an antibacterial agent, So when this dye was given to certain animals, it acted as an antibacterial agent, However, when the same dye was used against bacteria in the lab outside the body of the animals, means in vitro tests, the dye was not antibacterial in nature, Later, it was found that actually this Prontosil, it underwent metabolism inside the lab animals body, and what actually happened, a new compound called sulfonamide, it was produced from the dye. The dye underwent a metabolism, actually I would say the hydrolysis would have been occurred. So this compound, which later was called as sulfonamide, it acted as an antibacterial agent, So this was the first drug. It was the first synthetic drug made as antibacterial agent. Afterwards, discovery of this active ingredient, this was again synthesized in the lab and it was found to be antibacterial in nature. So it was the first drug which was produced, synthetic drug actually, which was produced as antibacterial agent, So how it has been discovered? This sulfonamide was discovered from the Prontosil dye, an azo dye which actually gets converted, metabolized into sulfonamide inside the body of the animals, lab animals, So this is the structure of the sulfonamide. Nowadays, sulfonamide is a big class. It's a big class of drugs, So after the discovery of the first sulfonamide, a number of sulfonamides were prepared, a number of analogues was prepared. A variety of analogues were prepared. Okay, a variety of analogues of the sulfonamides were prepared in order to find the best possible structure of the sulfonamide with the maximum antibacterial activity. Okay, and that is called SAR studies. We have an idea what are the SAR studies. SAR, structure activity relationship. I've given you a separate lecture on structure activity relationships. What is SAR? You can visit that in order to get the basic concepts about the SAR, Over here I'm going to explain the SAR of the sulfonamides. After the preparation of a variety of analogues of sulfonamides, what was confirmed that number one, there should be a primary amine, you know. Primary amine is necessary. Okay. If we use over here secondary or tertiary amine, the activity of the drug is reduced and sometimes it is lost. So what is the requirement? The amino group is supposed to be the primary ones. Okay. Secondly, what was another factor was confirmed that the drug should have an aromatic ring. Aromatic ring, you know. The aromatic ring should be there. Means we can't use acyclic sulfonamide. Acyclic sulfonamides do not act as antibacterial agents. Mean, let's say if we just introduce certain groups like that, you know, something like that. So such sulfonamides which do not carry benzene ring over here, they are supposed to be inactive. They won't be antibacterial agent in nature. So for sulfonamides to act as an antibacterial agent, they should have an aromatic ring over here. Okay. So we need to have an aromatic ring over here, as I've explained it previous a while ago, you know. This is called SAR studies, you know, structure activity relationship. Okay. Secondly, the ring should be para substituted. Okay, that's the ring, you know, benzene ring that is supposed to be para substituted. In the substituents on the ring should be at the para position, you know. Let me draw that again for you. Primary amine, ring, and then the para substitution. Okay. Sulfonamides. What would have been done? The people would have tried actually to put amine on meta. Okay. They would have tried sulfonamides, you know, with ortho positions, meta position, ortho positions, and finally they found that when the amine is para, then the sulfonamides are active. However, when the amine is at meta ortho position, such sulfonamides lose their activity. So that is also one of the requirement, that amine should be, the ring should be para substituted. Okay. So this is the third requirement of the structure of the drug, which has to act as an antimetabolite, you know. Then how, if these are the requirement and you can't change over here, then how we can generate, how people would have generated their different analogs, where the variations would have been produced, where the derivatization have been done, you know, to produce different types, different sulfonamides. People tried over here, you know. This amine over here, they have introduced different R groups over here, you know. Nitrogen of sulfonamide should be secondary. Okay, this nitrogen should carry one substituent over here, you know. So these are the substituents were varied, a number of different linear, aromatic, heterocyclic, different types of substituents were replaced, were installed at that nitrogen to generate a library of sulfonamides. Okay, this R group was changed to generate derivatives, different sulfonamides. Okay, they actually introduce alkyl chains over here. They used aromatic ring. They use heterocycles over here. Okay, the R was alkyl, R was aromatic ring, R was heterocycles in different analogues of the sulfonamides. Okay, in order to check, in order to find the best chemistry, best substituent on this side to have the best sulfonamide molecules, The variation in R groups, the variation in R groups, what it does, what it actually, why it is done so, why we change the R groups over here. It was done to reduce toxicity. Okay, different R groups were tried to check to reduce the toxicity of the drug. Okay, to control the binding with, to control the binding capacity of analog with plasma proteins. When the drug is taken into the body, the drug interacts with plasma proteins, they develop their interaction with the plasma protein, and with the blood those drugs move to their target, their site of action over there. If the drug has a strong bonding with the plasma proteins, then the drug can retain in the body for a longer period of time, so it can show its action for a longer period of time. In such conditions, we take smaller doses of such drugs because their time of availability is higher. They can stay for longer period of time in the body because they have a higher bonding with their plasma proteins, so they are effective even in smaller concentration. If we have certain R groups over here, they don't have better binding with the plasma proteins, those analogues will not have more residual time, more time to stay in the body, and we have to take higher dose of such analogues. So this is how the R's were varied over here in order to get best sulfonamides with less toxicity, with high bonding with the plasma proteins. So this is something about the SAR of the sulfonamides. Okay, so this is how, if you are interested to generate new sulfonamides, we can play around over here. Those R's could be, new R's could be installed, in order to check the bioactivity, the antibacterial activity, anti-metabolite activity of the sulfonamides. This is just a bit about the SAR of the sulfonamides. Now let me give you just a glimpse how sulfonamides act, what is the mechanism, mode of action, What is mode of action, you know? How it acts as antibacterial agent, you know? What is the mode of action over here? We have an idea inside the bacterial cells. A molecule called pteridine plus para-amino benzoic acid. We also write them as PABA, P-A-B-A, para-amino benzoic acid. Okay. Then L-glutamide. Three entities, three different molecules: pteridine, para-amino benzoic acid, and L-glutamide. Actually, they come close to each other, they do interact with each other, okay, at the surface of an enzyme that is called dihydro yes, dihydroteroate synthetase. This is the enzymes. At the surface of these enzymes, these three bodies interact with each other. They do react with each other to produce folic acid. Okay, in bacterial cell. Inside the bacteria, there is an enzyme called dihydroteroate, okay, synthetase. At the surface of this enzyme, these three bodies, they interact with each other to produce folic acid, you know. What happens then? The sulfonamides sulfonamide drug actually comes and it blocks the surface of this enzyme. Okay, it blocks the surface of this enzyme and then it blocks actually the reaction between these bodies, and there is no formation of folic acid. Folic acid synthesis stopped, you know. Okay. So sulfonamides actually do act as competitive enzyme inhibitors, you know. Sulfonamides compete with these three bodies, you know, and they block the surface of the enzymes, so they inhibit the synthesis of folic acid, you know. As there will be no production of folic acid very important for the sustainability of life of bacteria. Once folic acids are not produced, the life functions of bacterial cell will be affected and ultimately the cell will be dead, you know. So how inside the bacteria these three bodies do react at the surface of the enzyme to produce folic acid? The sulfonamide drugs actually do, they compete with these bodies, especially the para-amino benzoic acid. I'm going to explain it actually. And they block the surface and they block the production of folic acid in bacteria. Once the folic acid is not produced, the bacterial life will be halted, you know, the processes will be halted. Ultimately, it will die, you know. The sulfonamides act as anti-metabolites, antibacterial agents, you know. Let me explain it again now. I've given you an example of para-amino-benzoic acid. It is something like that. Okay. What actually does it? This body, at the surface of the enzyme, it develops hydrogen bonding. It develops, van der Waals forces through the aromatic ring with the surface of the enzyme. We can call it enzyme surface. It would have some groups over there as well, similarly. So this is how it happens. Para-amino-benzoic acid comes in contact at the surface of the enzyme. It operates through hydrogen bondings, okay, van der Waals forces through this aromatic ring, and then activate the enzyme to facilitate the production of folic acid. Now look at the structure. Similarly, what happens? We have a sulfonamides over here. It acts same way, N's are supposed to be the R's, and we have primary amines over there. Sulfonamide. So they have a very much similarity with the PABA. This is PABA, para-amino-benzoic acid, which is actually the requirement of the bacterial cell. So it activates the enzymes for the production of folic acid. What happens then? It has the same amino group, so it can act with the enzyme. It has a benzene, it can act with the enzyme. It has a certain oxygens, something over here in the benzoic acid, so they can develop the electrostatic interactions or hydrogen bonding over there. So what happens then? Once we take sulfonamides, they compete with the PABA and don't allow PABA to come into the interaction. They develop their own interactions with the surface of the enzymes, This is how they block the enzymes. This is sulfonamide. It interacts with the enzyme and block the surface of the enzyme. No, it won't allow PABA to come into interaction with the enzyme. Once PABA will not be available, the reaction between PABA, okay, pyridine and alpha L-glutamide, that will not be possible then. This is how the sulfonamide will act as an anti-metabolite, because it will block the synthesis of the folic acid, which is a very vital molecule for the important function in bacterial cell. Once the folic acid is not available, the bacterial's internal cellular functions will be halted, will be affected, severely affected, and results in inactivation of the bacterial cells, So this is how you can see, you have an idea now how the drugs actually are to mimic, they mimic the biological molecules. This is what I told you in the very first, what the drugs are actually. Drugs are the molecules which have the same chemistry as the internal molecules which are actually produced by the biological system for their normal functioning. So, PABA is a normal molecule which performs normal function in the bacterial cell. Now, sulfonamides have the somewhat similar chemistry. So, they have replaced them and halt an important function. So these are the drug molecules. They are supposed to have very similar structure, very similar chemistry to the biological molecules which are produced, which are available inside the body. Okay, so this is how they can activate certain enzymes, or sometimes they do deactivation of certain enzymes. They stop the biological functions, okay, especially in microbes, as I've just given you an example of anti-metabolites, antibacterial agents. I hope you got the idea what the sulfonamides are, what is important in their structure for their activity. If the aromatic ring is there, para substitution is there, an amine group is there, nitrogen of sulfonamide is secondary, then that drug will be active. If we change in its very much required structure, then those analogs will not be active. So this is all about antimetabolites, sulfonamides, first lecture, on antibacterial agent. Next, I'm going to explain what are the tetracyclines, how they inhibit the protein synthesis, how they do act as antibacterial agents, So this is all about today's lecture, antibacterial agent, antimetabolites, sulfonamides. Even then, if you have any question, don't hesitate to contact. I will be happy to respond at the earliest convenience, please. Thank you very much, and Assalamu alaikum, please.